Hi, good morning. Sorry if I can't read your name right now because my laptop is being bootleg and so I can't see. Good morning. Oh, okay. Hi, Adele. Hi, Jen. Hi, Miss Yankee. Hi, Queen J. I can't pronounce names. I'm so sorry. Wheezy. Hi, Kate. Hugs for Kate. Hi, Music Nonstop. Hi, everybody. Oh my goodness. Thank you for coming to my impromptu live. I was actually, is this okay? I was actually trying to record a video and it wasn't working out. Is the audio okay? Because I'm using this thing. Bridgie! Oh, that was kind of loud. Let me know if the audio is okay because of this little lapel thing. I don't know how it's going to sound with the live. I just wanted it to be a little bit more clear. Put a blue heart if the, yeah, okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, so I'm sorry, Bridgie. Oh my God, thank you, Nikki. Yes, I'm out here looking like Beetlejuice today. I was in a mood. Oh my goodness. So I didn't know if I was actually gonna make this video because I was trying to like record it and then I realized there was so much stuff like going on that I felt like I couldn't compose all my thoughts into like this short format, and I decided to make this a discussion thing. And then I also wanted to take the time to like state my own involvement within this whole thing. Oh, thank you, Dulce. Thank you. You guys are so nice. So I decided to do that in this format because I felt like it was more productive and more proactive to be able to do this. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Josie. Thank you. Business executive. Really? This came from like Boohoo. It was like $10. But yeah, okay. So if you guys did not know, on Twitter, Kodee decided to go and post an apology video towards the Native American community. And the situation is near and dear to me personally because one of my own online best friends, Chelsey, is involved. This was directly affecting her. So once she told me about the situation, I felt compelled to involve myself because of the fact that she is my friend. And I too, I'm not following, or rather, I was not raised with my native roots, so to speak, but my great aunt is Native American, Cherokee, Blackfoot, K. Yeah, so we're clear. So indirectly, it affects me as well. That being said, my frustrations ended up getting the best of me, so I felt like my emotions regarding the situation were not clear because I decided to answer sarcastically when approaching Kodee and her apparent apology, the first one. So Kodee ended up apologizing via Twitter text, saying a generic "I'm sorry" to everybody. And it was clear to everybody that, hey, one of Chelsey's subscribers ended up approaching her and she's like, hey, like nobody can see this because a lot of us are still blocked. Okay, so that was the statement made. Chelsey ended up telling us about it, and then me, being the jerk that I am, decided to make this very sarcastic statement. And it's just like, I want to apologize to the dude who I kicked in the shin when I was 8 years old. I don't have you on Twitter, so I don't know how you're gonna see this. But I just wanted to say I'm sorry, and I hope you see this one day. So it was kind of making me make joke, or it was a satirical statement in reference to Kodee making this apology while potentially still having people blocked because they're never going to see it. And before I made that statement, apparently somebody else was also approaching her saying like, yo, you have people blocked, to which she decided to take a screenshot and then also screen record the process of her checking whether or not she has people blocked or unblocked or whatever the case may be. And to which I, being the jerk I am again, decided to say like, because it's not possible for people to unblock somebody before taking a screenshot. I didn't know that wasn't a possibility. I'm so sorry for not understanding. Anyway, let me just see what you guys are saying real fast while we're having this conversation. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Kate, again. Xylee, you didn't want to come see me because we had our feud on Twitter, okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Nikki, for telling people to like it, the chats, okay? How's everyone? Hi, Courtney. Zelda gives hearts. Oh, you guys are so nice. Thank you for sharing love on this video. Yes, Team Blackfoot Native Tribe. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too connected to my native roots. I like know about it and I know like family stories, but I was raised in a West Indian household, so I know more about my Trinidadian roots than anything else. I know more about West Indian culture. My mom would be the first one to tell anybody that I know nothing about the country or the South, nothing. So I am not the person to necessarily come to when it comes to those things. Thank you, Lou. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so if we could just listen, if I could agree, okay? But I don't like to call people trash. I just don't, she's less than desirable. So if we could just be nice with the wording, because I don't want people to come for me later and saying, oh, I encourage my supporter people, my friends to just badmouth people. No. Seraphine's here. Okay. So yeah, moving on. So I made that statement and I ended up being a jerk and making a whole thread about her. And in the process of Kodee actually taking the time to respond to me, she tells me to check my facts. She told me to check my facts. Well, that's a completely asinine thing to say because ultimately, if you unblock people, Twitter does not keep a track record of that. That's what common sense would say. Also, on top of that, I did not have permission to share screenshots provided by the individual who was blocked in the first place. So I'm not going to just, oh, let's just throw that to the wind. No, that wasn't my story. That person shared it with Chelsey in confidence. Chelsey told me about it. And I also saw the screenshot. And then we left that alone. But since you want to be a jerk, I'm going to be a jerk too. Okay. So I decided, oh, why not better use than to use Social Blade? Because Social Blade will have some sort of indicator to say if your subs experience some sort of lasting increase or decrease. It's more so for deductive reasoning and to allow individuals to actually have a conversation, not to be used as fact, but to incite the fact that your online trail is not as invisible as you think it was. So I ended up using Social Blade, and the whole point of me making that tweet was to indicate to her, like, your apology was a load of baloney. That was the whole point. You offended a multitude amount of people. You ended up using your mental health as a means to explain away your actions, and your mental health should never be an excuse as to why you do things. Yes, it could influence what you do because you're acting reactory, but that is not an excuse as to why you can't talk on what you've done wrong. I myself experience mental health. Oh my God, my waifu, Charlie's here, right? So that being said, she decided to make that statement. I decided to make that thread, and to which she told me to check my facts. We had this ongoing back and forth sort of conversation, to which Chelsey also appeared, and then she decided to ignore Chelsey for a prolonged period of time, to which that also incited a lot of irritation. And then she decided to first go on live with Will. What is it? Expose You. Oh my God, Expose You. The tea spill stan. Okay. She decides to go on with this 15-year-old person and issue an apology. First off, let's just talk about that conversation. If you are issuing an apology and you're going on live to issue an apology, why are you adding somebody into your live to be able to commentate live and have a discussion with you about a group of people that you've offended? Can we have that conversation? Also, too, Kodee was very tactical in reference to how she decided to address the situation, period. Because let's talk about why she ended up talking about her potential heritage in the first place. The whole thing was she made a negative statement about physical abuse victims, i.e. she was talking about the Bratz challenge and talking about how people were overemphasizing their lips. And she decided to say, why would I want to look like Chris Brown beat me in my face? So people were saying, yo, that is racially charged because one, Black people are stereotypically known to have larger lips. And on top of that, I don't have larger lips. All the Portuguese came out of me. Somebody's going to cancel me because I said, that's a fact. Leave me alone. Okay. So that being said, there is the racially charged statement about her lips. And she decided to cover that over with saying, oh, hey, I can make this statement about other minorities because I am a minority. When do we start having this conversation where we can start saying negative things about other people based on the fact that we are considered the other on the chart too? Like, does it ever become okay that me as a Black woman with very minor Chinese descent, okay, so very little, and I start saying, oh, Chinese people have chinky eyes? Like, when does that become okay? When, or it's just like, well, I'm Indian, so as Indian people, I can make a statement about people smelling like curry because I eat fried chicken. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That's the whole point that I'm trying to make. It doesn't make sense for her to cover over the fact that she made this very nasty statement about Rihanna being physically hurt by her ex-boyfriend, and then on top of that, people approached her about saying, hey, you can't say something like that, and she's like, oh, but I'm Native American, so I can make this nasty statement. And you're not going to connect the two. You're not connecting the two, so people don't understand how deep of the hurt that people were feeling in the first place. If you guys want to know more about that, the whole chronological order, I would highly encourage people to go ahead and watch Chelsey Moon's video. At the end of this video, I will also include it in the description link down below so you guys are more aware about the situation. But I just, okay, I'm going to read the comments and see what you guys are saying. Kate Will is only 15. He ended up saying that on her live, on her Twitter live. Yeah, Zelda, I agree. Retweeting Nick cheapened her apology, and then I'm going to talk about that that third apology thing after. I don't know. The explanation for her, I don't know. I need a minor here to white knight for me. Goodbye, Charlie. An apology video where she referred to me, a Black man, as aggressive, like microaggression. Yes, I'm going to talk about that too. Chelsey, I love you. Yes, it's never okay to make a joke about domestic violence or race, period. It's not. And while a lot of people, and I'm holding myself accountable to that too, because I'm very careful about what racial jokes that I make, because amongst my friends, certain things are okay because we have that sort of repertoire. But for ongoing, especially on a social media platform, for you to use your platform and a mean to make such an insensitive joke and then not be able to correct yourself publicly, properly, with some sort of dignity and honor to the people that you've offended, that's a problem. So this whole live, her whole live, in essence, was supposed to be about apologizing to Chelsey directly and to the Native American community directly. And then on top of that, Chelsey also had given Kodee the whole proper structure of what she was seeking, or what the Native American community were seeking in reference to her an apology. There was 3 things that Chelsey touched upon. Chelsey, if you're here, can you go ahead and link those? But I know one of them was directly apologizing to Pocahontas, or I can't pronounce her name, I'm sorry. Directly apologizing to Pocahontas, directly apologizing to the tribe, and then also issuing the direct apology to her and all the people that she's offended directly. And she didn't have the decency she made these disgusting statements, blocked these people, called them, indicated that they were racist, and then she didn't have the gall to actually remember the direct people that she hurt. Because I know what I said to whoever I said. Okay, so that being said, I had my own little thing where I made a negative statement pertaining to healthcare. I directly I directly apologize to individuals relating to healthcare, because I myself, I'm broke. I received the government help on the healthcare, so I can't make those statements like that, because just because I was blessed enough to receive certain, programs or whatever, doesn't mean that everybody else was. So I made an insensitive statement, and I made sure that I aptly apologized to all the people that I have affected, and I remembered who I affected. But she doesn't. She does not remember. And that's the whole problem. She leaves it up to, I don't know who I was 3 months ago. And I'm like, okay, valid, fine. You don't know who you were 3 months ago. But when these people are continually approaching you for 9 months, a whole child has developed in somebody's womb in the span of time it took you to apologize for something. Within that 9 months, a multitude of people have directly approached you. On top of that, there is a digital trail. Chelsey actually compiled a video in May that caused Kodee to block her in the first place, that has some of the people she's directly affected, and she leaves that up to, how am I supposed to remember? And, I watched her video at therapy, but I haven't watched it again, but I'm going to make an apology video about something that I don't actually remember all the details to. Makes sense. I'm going to read what you guys say. Will is totally problematic himself. Yes. I'm disturbed the statement. Yeah, I'm disturbed by her statement too. So there's a new Murphy Brown going. Miguel, if you don't leave me alone, don't be jealous of my Beetlejuice outfit, okay? Am I too high, not sitting on my head properly wig? Somebody come for me for my wig. Oh my goddess, Madam Trigger, I've missed you. What's good, niece? What does attention? Previous years, because people will hold you accountable. Social media is a different playing field now, because you can't say edgy things like you could in the early 2010s and previous years, because people will hold you accountable and come for you. And Cameron, I agree that the social climate is completely different. And I also think a lot of environmental related things also have to do with that. And the way society works, it works on a pendulum. So it's kind of like the society will create this whole sort of dynamic where you cannot be the opposite of what it was like before. So everybody was against rules. F the police was that mentality back in like the 90s or whatever. And then now it's like swinging in the opposite direction. Like, no, everything has to be rules and regulations, and we can't offend nobody, and we can't make these detrimental statements. And then, what's going to end up happening is people are going to end up rebelling because their freedom of speech is taken away from them. And then it's going to swing in the opposite spectrum again. And then everybody's going to be offended and acting a hot blazing mess. And then we're going to be backhanded people with Bibles. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you. Yeah, Amanda, she didn't care. She didn't care. She cared enough when her reputation was on the line. She cared enough when people were directly talking to her about the situation. She cared enough in reference to her friends disassociating themselves from her. She cared enough that her mental health was affected by the situation. But what about all the people that she's affected along the way? It doesn't take away what damage that she did. And then she can't, it's unimaginable that you would get offended by the fact that people don't want to forgive you based off of the apology that you've provided, especially when they have given you. Chelsey and the people that she's directly affected have given it to her on a platter. This is what I want from you, please. Because you've offended my people, you've offended my culture, and you did so as a means to cover up for the fact that you said something negative and detrimental to Black people and to domestic violence survivors. This is what you did. Please address this. And then she's like, I don't know what you guys want from me. What do you people want? You're never satisfied. Okay. Okay. Tracy says, oh my God, it skipped. It skipped so much. Tracy says, I'm like you, Miracle. Around my friends, yes, we make insensitive comments to each other because that's who we are, but around others in social media, we're respectful for others. Exactly, because your friends are going to understand where you're coming from versus people on social media. They're not going to know the context. They're not going to know your heritage. They're not going to know your experiences and stuff like that. And where you might be coming from a lighthearted place, like a true racist is going to show themselves all the time. And versus somebody who's just like, yo, like we grew up together, this is the stuff. And unless that friend directly tells you, hey, that's kind of messed up, you're going to know to correct yourself. At least somebody with decency is. Jan, be safe. Yes, be safe for Jan. She's using the same tactic as a so-called big... Well, are we talking about Gabby Hanna? Benny Hanna. Yes, Chelsey is extremely educational. What was her point of view apology if she's going to turn around and thank Nick for excusing his bad behavior? Makes zero sense. I'm going to talk about that too. Guys, let's be nice to Will. He's a minor and can weaponize against you. Facts. Trust us. We agree. He can be polarizing, and Kodee's, like you said, he hated us, so we get it. But let's be mindful. Ain't jealous. You look nice as always. Thank you. Who's Will? He's the tea spill stan, something like that. Hi, Bobby's Worlds. Can you elaborate on the DV context, domestic violence context? I don't know about that. Oh, I don't know if somebody answered. Sorry, hold on. About the DV context, this was what started the whole thing with her in the first place. Referring to the fact that she's Native because she made an insensitive comment. If you watch Chelsey's video, she also includes the clip just in case she tries to backpedal after. But within that clip, she refers to the Bratz challenge thing where people were emphasizing their lips, and in the process of doing so, she's like, why would I want to look like Chris Brown? Just beat me in my face. And yeah. So I think I'm caught up, but let's talk about her first video apology. So after we ignore the fact that Will was in the video with her, and it was very distracting how he had to keep exiting and entering back in the phone call. And I don't know why she took that moment when she said that live was specifically to address her apology, that she took the time to bring to light her irritation with Nikki and Mocha and her displeasure video, her 2-minute long displeasure video. Let's break that down. Now, if you guys are not aware, it's quite obvious that I have a very good relationship with Nikki and Mocha. They're like my online family, so to speak, okay? It's very obvious. I'm going to be very forthcoming in giving you guys that information. I feel the same way about Nikki and Mocha that I feel about Chelsey, that I feel about Fringy. They are my lifelines, okay? So I love them a lot, and I can't imagine not being on this platform without them. It's been 3 months, but I feel like I've known these people for like ever, okay? So that being said, I don't want you guys to think that I'm biased about the situation because of the fact that I'm close with them, because Nikki would know it more. I'm free to tell Nikki when I do not agree with him or when I do agree with him. It's point blank and simple. I'm the type of person, if I love my friends, I'm going to tell them like it is, because I want them to be the best versions of themselves. So if I see them running themselves haggard and dragging themselves through the mud, if I'm with them and they're associating with me, obviously when they step in mud and they touch mud, I'm going to touch them too. So I'm going to get muddy and dirty too. I don't want to be dirty, fam. I like being clean. I like smelling good. So that being said, we're going to leave that alone. So, oh, Nikki says that she tells me every time, she knows what's up. Exactly. I confirm this about Miracle. She's real. Thank you, Chelsey. So that being said, if you keep that in mind, Nikki gave her a compliment. And when you understand the context of the compliment, you understand that majority of their supporters and their subscribers don't like Kodee. It's very obvious. In fact, if you read through the comments in the original statement, a lot of people were like, yeah, I don't like her, okay? So they like, don't hate us, fam, but she looks cute. So Kodee's argument, which upon further context, I would say that it is true that a A platform was created in which people were allowed to give their opinions, and in turn, on their platform where individuals don't like Kodee specifically, they were allowed to be like, no, she looks busted the house, okay? They were within grounds to do so, especially based off of the statement made. However, that's completely foolish because they already gave an example about this. Most of their subscribers also don't necessarily like Petty Page either. They've dragged her before. She's dragged them before, and they still had the decency to be like, yo, this girl look cute, especially in her water, her tea water. That's cute. She looked cute. She looked, do it up for the plus size women, do it up for women, period, okay? So Kodee makes this response video and basically say how offensive it is, how it was a backhanded compliment, and then by her addressing the situation and saying that, hey, it was a backhanded compliment. If she were to, she could have done one of two things. Either, hey, straightforward, like, yo, that's kind of messed up, and do it in the DMs like she asked other people to do for her, or she could have just ignored it like she has been doing with everybody else. But because they're a smaller channel, I feel like that was motive to do something. So anyway, so she decides to address that situation. And then in reference to the whole video where Nikki and Mocha ends up addressing it, period, she calls Nikki aggressive. Listen, I'm not going to make this a worldwide issue because America's racial issues are strictly America's, but the whole thing is we want to make sure that we as a people collectively are aware of what's going on with all people all over the world. That being said, Kodee is from here. Kodee is aware of what goes on with American Black people. To call a Black man aggressive is like a death sentence. And if you guys did not know this, I promise you, go look. It is a death sentence. You can get killed for being called aggressive. And watch that video. Where was Nikki aggressive? Why couldn't he be called passionate? Why couldn't he be called irritated? Why was the word aggressive used for Nikki, but I haven't heard that language with her for anybody else? There's crickets. You know why? Because I can't hear you. Anyway. I'm fed up. I'm fed up. I don't mind her. I didn't mind her, but I forgot how problematic she was. If she's in her late 20s, doesn't it seem off that she has a 15-year-old in her lives? I don't like Petty or Kodee, says Zelda. I have to respect your feelings. You know, if Tea Times fans don't like her, then it's not okay. That's not on Nikki. It's the people's opinion. Exactly. And I don't know when it's become this new thing where creators are held accountable for what other people feel towards a situation. Because if I state my stance on something, hey, I think that Nikki looks cute, okay? So that's my example. Nikki is cute. If my subscriber or my friends, because I consider my subscribers friends, if my friend says, oh, hey, yo, no, Nikki's not cute, and I'm like, yo, just be mindful, don't say nothing negative about my friend, but their opinion on Nikki is not my opinion. I clearly said Nikki is cute. You have your opinion. You are entitled to that. And I think creators and influencers and the like hold some sort of different, people hold them at a different standard because they have a platform, but you can't necessarily expect a drama channel and a commentary channel where the whole channel is structured upon sharing opinion and viewpoints to be able to limit themselves and their opinions on something. That's illogical. It doesn't make sense. My whole point of being in the platform is to state my opinion on something. And then you don't want me to share my opinion on something. I'm just gonna, and then that's like if you become a review channel, clearly it's an opinion on something. If you become a musician, you have a platform to where you're talking about your experiences, and it's like it's good or bad music. I don't know. Everything is based off of opinion on YouTube. The whole fact that people come to a certain place to seat themselves is based off of their opinion, whether or not they think this is good content or not good content. So that Kodee is close to her 30s, I believe she said. I'm glad I'm catching up on this because I'm not watching 3 or 4 videos about Carla. Yeah, microaggression is real. Can we say gaslighting, Kodee? See, and you know what? I have to say no. We cannot. But by definition, we know what the definition of gaslighting is. So based off of that, you as a person here are allowed to form your own opinions, and I am not allowed, based off of this platform, not allowed to encourage you or discourage you from having your opinion. But if you know what the definition of gaslighting is, I think you are in fair rights to say gaslighting. You know how blacks are treated, and for her to stay aggressive, it is a death sentence. Yeah. She keeps choosing to take notice and validating negative because it brings views, distracts from real issues she's created, and allows her to be relevant. And I'm going to have to completely agree, Miguel, because if she took the time to understand what wrong that she has done, instead of deflecting, she would have owned it with her chest. Because within that statement, within me creating my own thread, I had approached her and I said within that thread, hey, Kodee, it's because you've made these negative statements against natives. You've made an insensitive comment about domestic violence victims. And you've also in turn directly affected black people, but that didn't get an apology either. So we're going to leave that alone. I've told her. And then she decided to take her time to like all the comments that were saying that I was being problematic and saying that the whole point of me doing this was to get attention, and implying that the whole point that I'm doing this was in fact because I'm friends with Nikki, and that I was trying to take away the fact that Nikki said something directly inappropriate to her by saying that she looked nice, because she felt she projected her own feelings on the situation to be able to say that, oh, Nikki was giving me a backhanded compliment. Because you've interpreted something as a certain way, if somebody is telling you actively, like, no, that is not my intention, why are you still taking that and writing it and telling the people who support you that that is truth? It doesn't make any sense. But that just tells you the type of person I am. If my intentions were not clear, I would expect people to be able to tell me, hey, like, I don't understand what you're saying. And then I take the proper measures to be able to correct it. And say, well, I'm sorry, this was my intention, but I understand what you're saying. So you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet, so to speak, and be able to be like, hey, I'm sorry, I screwed up. I didn't see it that way. Thanks. And the crazy part of it is Nikki and Mocha actively said, like, yo, if you just told us, we would have understood. But then you made a whole big stink out of it. And she's looking for an excuse for people to feel sorry for her, and it backfired. It is backfiring. And then she keeps making these statements after, going forth and following up. So we have that apology video. She cries. I don't like to see people cry, period. But if my dad was still alive, the first thing he would say, like, the crocodile tears. He would say that they're fake tears because you weren't crying when you were making that statement. You weren't. You weren't crying. You can cry about how it can affected you, but I don't, tell me if I'm wrong for this, guys. It's a matter of opinion, but I'm less inclined to take somebody seriously if they sit there and cry on a video that they've edited, because you had to sit there and watch yourself cry. Because at that point, if I did cry in a video, I think I would have to start the whole thing over again, because I'm not going to sit there and watch myself cry. But like, tell me if I'm wrong for that, because it's just my opinion. It's just me as a person. I don't want anybody to think that, you know, you can't trust people because they cry on camera, because some people feel more comfortable, but it's just my personal thing. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and cry and then edit myself crying and then find out that this is my 3rd or 4th time recording this. And so you cried every single time? You cried all 4 times? All of them. I'm just, oh God. People need to stop interacting with the minor. Oh, I went up too far. Charlie, you are perfect. She's looking for an excuse for people. Oh my god, I scrolled up way too far. Tea Time's post felt backhanded to me. Doesn't mean I agree with Kodee, but it made me think differently about Tea Time. And L, you're within your rights to feel a certain kind of way, because that's how you interpreted that information. But if somebody is approaching you and telling you that they feel a kind of ways about it, or they presented information in the wrong format, then it's your choice ultimately to decide whether or not you believe that they were telling the truth or they were lying or something to that effect. Being that I have a personal relationship with Nikki, Nikki made it clear that his intention wasn't to be rude or malicious. He was just directly saying it. And then if he wasn't that way, I'm gonna say it with my chest as my friend, like, yo, you're telling a bold-faced lie. Like, I'm going to be inclined to do that, but that wasn't the case in this situation. But I respect your feelings on that because you don't have that relationship with him, and I can't influence how you feel about somebody. So I always want to encourage everybody to still feel their feelings based off of the information that they are presented with. Plus, their tears being used to gaslight as a weapon. Yes. I'm Israeli, Jewish, and South Asian country with a junction between Mediterranean and Middle East. The extreme says I'm a person of color. The extreme left says I'm white. Who knows? See? Kodee is problematic. I don't understand opening a whole new thread knowing the majority of our audience didn't care for her, but I agree she has said and done things that are very insensitive. And Jen, I respect that. I always tell you that I respect your opinions on something because without lack of hindsight, you won't know how people are going to interpret your intentions. And I think based off of the fact that Nikki had opened the dialogue to talk about petty page and it was received well, I think he was inclined to just, extend himself to be able to compliment other people, but it didn't go over well. So I think he probably won't do that again. Dre says, what a lot of people don't understand is that while no, you may not be wanted to offend anyone, the fact is that it did affect someone, and that's what matters. And yes, that is what matters. You offended somebody, and I have mixed feelings about that because to one statement, you affected somebody, so yes, you want to apologize for it. But I also think that we as a society need to, I don't know, there's checks and balances with everything. So how much, like in an instance with Nikki, he inadvertently ended up offending Kodee. So I don't like how she ended up telling people how she was offended and then making it turn into this big to-do. But alternatively, where do you as a person say, like, yo, I don't mess with this person. Like, I'm gonna cut you off. I'm not even gonna respond to you because you're just not worth my time. Like, when do we do that as a person? Why do we have to go on social media all the time? It's natural for people to do it sometimes, but for you to go on social media all the time to be able to state your feelings on something, I think that is, I don't know. I wish we can do that to a level in which it is, it's more digestible, because I don't know if you guys realize this, but when we censor each other so much, people talk what the passion is in their heart, okay? But if people are constantly told to shush, just be quiet, they're going to end up internalizing that feeling. We'll never know how people feel about something. You don't know what people are internalizing. They can be internalizing and harboring something bad, and without them having an open conversation and dialogue about something, we'll never know how we could possibly correct or educate or converse or decide ultimately, like, yo, I'm not gonna mess with you, and you can't eat at my table. So that's just my thoughts on that. I'm back and I had so much lasagna. I love Fringy. Oh god, I feel like she let the other comments in her subs affect how she truly felt about Tea Time's compliment. I think so too. Shiny is back. I thank you. I took Tea Time giving her a compliment as a nice gesture until other people told her different. Not that you can't say anything nice about everyone sees everything differently at the end of the day. Oh my God, meant it in a good way, and that's what matters. I'm saying this is a specific instance that felt insincere to me as a viewer. It doesn't need to be taken to extreme and never compliment someone again. I don't like Kodee's response either. And I respect that. I have to respect that. She's doing all of this in front of her own audience too. I'm the only native seeing this stuff, and she's not even directly talking to me. So many natives are out there trying to survive. They aren't checking her. Yes, and I think Chelsey's doing the appropriate thing to use her platform where she does have a voice present, and to be able to say something to her directly, like, you're offending people. You are. And here I am, who, like, I have my heritage and my background and everything, and I'm going to be the one to be able to correct that. Because, and this is what, I don't think Kodee understands this. Someone as in Chelsey's position, Chelsey's not trying to drag Kodee and not trying to make Kodee look like a a-hole. Like, she's not trying to do, I'm trying to correct your behavior because it is wrong. And you did it for 9 months, fam. For 9 months. It's not to say like, oh, you screwed up last week and you haven't gone through the motions and found out the necessary information. Chelsey made a whole detailed video about it. People have left detailed comments explaining the situation, explaining the narrative, and then I don't know. I don't have the information. I don't have the desire to look up the information. Those were the responses. And then you know what? I will give credit where credit is due. Kodee had made a statement that I felt, this is the only, and this is a strong way to say this. This is the only statement I felt throughout this whole transaction that I felt was actually valid in my opinion. That I said that she, as a woman, she owned this with her chest. She said, I was not ready to receive the criticism. That's the only thing I respected about her. Because she's like, yo, I was crappy. I couldn't take it. I couldn't take what I was dishing out. She owned that. But then she kind of lost me when she used mental health as a reason as to why. Like she goes like this far and then it's just like, oh, no, I'm back here. That's the only thing that like really got me irate. Hi, Jamie. The thing is, no one truly knows unless she did those actions previously or said something different. Courtney, I would suggest that you watch Chelsey's video describing the situation. This video, this is really the only compiled video, but I think Jamie ended up speaking about it in one of his lives as well. And then he shows some screenshots or whatever the case may be. I think that might still be up. But as far as I know, we are the only parties that's actually actively spoke on this. As far as like a YouTube platform. She's trying to be relevant and extend. And I don't want to be this person, but that like gives me Trisha Paytas vibes. Like I'm not saying that she's Trisha Paytas, but I'm saying that like that's her MO. You know what I'm saying? You can't use tears to manipulate people when there's no cheers. Just saying. Edit videos completely erase the ability to make mistakes, especially in front of an audience, a creator who makes a YouTube career commenting and ranting and criticizing behaviors of others. There's no excuse for waiting 9 months. She basically thought people would forget. And then she was in for a rude awakening when people didn't forget. Kodee really said, oh my God, it skipped. I don't know. I'm going to keep reading down. I can't. Oh Lord, hate when people use their mental health. I have a lot of mental health issues and would never use it as a way to excuse myself or my actions. And that's what I want people to hold. Quinn V is here. Hi, honey. I totally forgot about her until the tea time incident. So now let's talk about Nick Steiter's statement. Unpopular opinion, and more people will probably call me biased or whatever. When I first, and I'm telling the truth, when I first read his video, I thought he was being sarcastic. I really did. Like, it kind of read off, like in my head, it read off the same way that I wrote my statement, but mine was a little bit more obvious. But then what now has me on the fence, one, is that people are stating about how offensive it is, and he's not addressing it. That's what's bothering more, is that he's not addressing it and making clear what his stance is. And then on top of that, his friends are telling him, like, yo, this ain't it. So I think Dustin Daly ended up commenting on it, and saying, like, they're going to cancel you again, which also could be a sarcastic statement, but I'm not sure. But then individuals like Margot actually ended up taking the time to comment on it, and she admits that while she is not in tune with her Native heritage, she decides to give everybody the history lesson about what's going on with Pocahontas and how it doesn't make any sense that Kodee would end up saying that that is her line to, you know, her heritage. So when his friends are making those statements, I don't know if they've had any private conversations. All I know is that Nick has not formally addressed this. And then from there, that led me to believe, like, oh no, this man was serious. And that's a problem in of itself. That is a problem because, one, if you are aware and privy to the situation at hand, why does suddenly her feelings about her fantasy heritage suddenly supersede the battle and the discrimination and the pain that people are experiencing, not just in the past, but currently to this day? The fact that your blood is dissected and you are looked at like an animal, like a dog, to be able to see how pure your blood is. Like the fact that hundreds and thousands of your people have been murdered, and all they can give you is money and land. Like, and then this is what bothers me the most, is when people don't acknowledge the privilege that they are given. And I know people flippantly use that word, but, and this is what I don't like, because me as a person of color, I feel this about my own people, so to speak, or the multitude of people in our diverse range. Privilege should not automatically cause you to demonize someone. There are people who are your allies, and then there are people who are ignorant. They don't know, so you have to explain to them, even though you feel like there is a multitude of information available. All the stories might be the same, but the way that you explain something might be the impact or might be the words that they needed to hear. You might be the person to be able to change somebody's whole spectrum of how they believe or see something. And I feel like we as people of color, instead of demonizing somebody and outcasting them and saying, I can't associate with you, and I don't understand how, I'm using this as an example about how white people just don't acknowledge us as Black people, as Spanish people, as Asian people, as what Indian or whatever the case may be. You guys don't understand this. Why are you demonizing people because of the color of their skin? Because alternatively, that's what they're doing to you. And this is using broad term, okay? Because you're segregating yourself. We people fought so hard against segregation, and you don't understand that this has become a tactic to which people have caused us to have this separation, this segregation sort of mentality, and then we are starting to internalize it and restart the whole thing. And if you guys don't know, I would highly advise you guys to try to look up the documentary called Good Hair. I think it was by Chris Rock, who ended up making it. And there's another documentary on Netflix. I don't know if it's still available, but it's about, I think it has to do with like the paper bag. It talks about the paper bag rule. And if you guys don't know about American history, a lot of Black people were seen, and this is still practiced to today, a lot of Black people were seen as more beautiful if they are lighter than a brown paper bag. If it's lighter, it's brighter, it's better, something like that. And this is that internalized racism that's been built within Black people, and it's in a lot of other minority groups as well. I've seen comments within the Native community, a lot of natives unfortunately fell into that mentality, and sometimes they won't acknowledge their black brothers and sisters. I've seen it in Asian countries where if you're considered dark skinned, you are a field worker and you don't have the same rights or the same class status. A lot of people are based off caste systems. So it's understanding what internalized racism does to people, and how you, within your privilege, so to speak, have this platform to be able to educate someone and state your stance firm on something, and for you to take the time to belittle somebody going through it, like that's problematic. I don't know. That was just a long a long thing. No, okay, and I don't want you to feel sad to be white. Be proud of who you are. I want you to be proud of who you are, because nobody should be made to feel ashamed. You didn't do what your ancestors did. You didn't do it. But in turn, it's just, and you yourself take the time to understand somebody who does not have, the fortune of not being judged. I say this all the time. Somebody like me, my skin color talks well before I do. People will make assumptions about who I am. And alternatively, somebody who is white might feel the same thing if they enter into a minority-based location. They might feel like, people will automatically think I'm a racist jerk because I'm white, and that's not true. And this is my whole dialogue is, I wish people collectively, and people might say that I am very very wishful, or I have this fairy tale vision that maybe we should look at people for who they are and not what they look like. Because all black people don't think the same way. All white people don't think the same way. All natives don't think the same way. Everybody, there's no two people that necessarily, just because they belong in the same community, that feel the same way about something. And that's just my whole message. I'm going to go back and read. I'm so sorry. I just went on that mad rant and I wasn't reading what everybody was saying. I feel so bad. I'm sorry. Oh my God, you guys, we're having a whole conversation, a whole dissertation. I'm gonna stop right in the middle. Okay. I think I went up too far. Okay. Kodee calls someone gross for stopping her from, and this sums up her as a whole. Her tweeting Nick Snyder's tweet undid it all for me. I think Nick was doing well in recent times. But I haven't seen what you're talking about, but I can understand where you're coming from and what you said. Who is Margot? Margot, she has the pretty blue teal hair. She's one of Nick's friends. I believe she also has a drama channel. All of the natives, Kodee really did say she was related to the one well-known famous one, girl bye. Margot did message me and explain that she understands and has spoken to Nick. See? And that's the level of accountability that I expect. Whatever feelings that I have, actually, I don't really have no real feelings towards Margot. To be honest, I was kind of a jerk. And then when T-Trigger had called her Mar-a-Lago, I was kind of rude and kept calling her Mar-a-Lago, but I'll stop. But yeah, I don't have any real opinion on Margot because I don't know her. But I'm very pleased to see that she took it upon herself to reach out to Chelsey. That's really nice. When is Margot gonna make some videos though? I don't know. That's a good question. I fully agree, but you should tell them definitely have privilege over your circumstances. Yes, and we should be able to tell people they have a privilege so they acknowledge what's actually transpiring. Oh, thank you, Veronica. Thank you. Shout out to Nikki and Mocha. Miracle is taking us to social church with this word. Pop everybody in the head with this Bible. Oh my God, B is here. B. I love B. Never understood why people hate on others just because they don't understand the topic and don't even care to educate them. As I always say, to make other allies, don't reverse racist and help people understand. Yes, Cameron, yes. The paper bag rule was applied to natives and blood quantum too. If you were darker, you were a full blood. Fun book if anybody wants to read about the West installed this ideology called Orientalism by Edward Said. That's good. Thank you, Frenchie, for the book. Can you put that put that in the group so I can look it up later. Good, Kate. Be proud. Said breakdowns. Well, Europe used to view other races as very exotic and like children and needed to guiding to a better future through colonialism. Yes, it was a very messy process. Oh, okay, good, Kate. DM. Oh my God, it skipped. So everybody who wrote anything in between that part, I just missed it. But Shirley says, I don't know how to take that. I was working at the jewelry counter at Macy's, and when it happened, I was 18 at the time. Oh, I missed the story. Now I gotta go find it. Oh God. Thank you. I discuss this all the time. It's sad how divisive we have to be. Educate people, attack them in a mob. Yes, Jamie. Experience hate on the daily from people is because I'm too white. White people also dislike you if you're too fair. I don't even know what to do with that. That sucks. I look at people for who they are. To me, we have different pigmentation on our skin. Personality and character is what matters. I remember being told by an older white lady how she can't pull off hoop earrings like I do because I'm too exotic. Yes. I don't even know how to thank you, Chelsey, for saying it was an educated rant. Thank you, informative. I missed it because it's dropped down again. But this is, and I want you guys to have like an active thing, like active knowledge about how internalized racism has affected me personally in my life. Blessings to you is here. Good morning, beautiful. I explained the whole thing in the beginning, but I'm going to go through a brief rundown for you because I don't want you to have to suffer through the first half of this live. But basically, there was an issue with Kodeerants. If you don't know her channel, she's made very insensitive statements towards the Native American community back in May. She recently decided to apologize for it, and her apology was less than desirable. And in the process of people telling her that she lacked the necessary cadence to be able to properly apologize to people, she decided that she was going to get upset and say that people just don't understand the fact that she's sorry. And that's not the case. Essentially, it's just that she's not taking the proper measures to apologize properly, because as she's doing it right now, people don't understand that she's really apologetic, because it seems like she's making a joke about it, or she's using her mental health as a means to discredit any of her previous activities. And even though she says, I'm not using my mental health, her actions are saying that she's using her mental health. Oh, I'm glad. No, you are beautiful. Yes, definitely. But yeah, as I was saying, when within the Black communities, my skin will say that I'm not Black enough. My experience is not Black enough because I speak like this. My vernacular will say that I'm not Black enough. And I think that it's very telling that a lot of people will feel, because of the way that you display yourself and you articulate yourself, because you're not intercity, you are not considered Black enough. That being said, personally, when I was growing up, my mom's okay with me sharing this, so don't think I'm throwing my mom under the bus, but this just goes to show you the internalized racism that happened with her. My mom, even though they already did away with all the slavery and stuff, my mom still picked cotton. She picked tobacco when she was in Virginia as a kid. Okay. And my grandmother had worked for white people, and she took care of their property. Then she was like a full-time nurse or whatever. Then she moved up here and up in Jersey and whatever the case may be. But my mom still had that mentality that being light-skinned was more beautiful. So she would tell me all the time, like my mom would actively cry if I like tanned, because she didn't want me to feel the same pain that she felt when she was growing up. And she went through the whole, I don't want to get into too much detail because that's my mom's story, but it also changed how I view things when I was a kid. Like when we talked about slavery and stuff in history class, I would, like, my mom and my dad would actively tell me, like, if they put Black on the census paper, I would actually cry. And I would stop. I literally, like, when I was like 7 years old, I stopped talking to my parents for 2 weeks because they called me Black. And when you saw the town that I was raised in, it was basically like the United Nations. There was all different people from South America. There was all like people from Mexico, from Guatemala, from Argentina, from Colombia. Those were like all my friends. We had Pakistanians there. We had black kids. We had the West Indian black kids, because if you guys didn't know, that's different too. African black kids, Asians. That was my whole childhood. But somewhere in the process, I internalized that being black was bad. And it took my parents having a dialogue with me to understand that it was not bad. And then we had to figure out where this feeling came from. And then like I didn't start getting over this until maybe I was in the 7th grade. That's where I almost like I had this whole like overhaul. I was like pro black, where everything black. I'm like black, black. Everything has to be black and then stuff. And like I almost felt ashamed for being into other cultures and stuff. But I was like heavily into specifically Japanese and Korean culture, not just because of the cartoons and stuff. I just appreciated the mannerisms and really Filipino culture, because a lot of my friends were Filipino. So I understood, and a lot of Filipino culture specifically is very similar to West Indian culture. So I felt at home when I was going to their households, because typically speaking, American Southern black culture is very different from West Indian culture. So it took a lot for me to adjust to that, because I was raised in a very West Indian household. But that being said, even when I did make my black friends, it was still a different process, because the black people that I associated myself with at that time were African. One was Nigerian and one was Ghanaian. And they were amazing. But if you guys don't know, like, people from the motherland, so to speak, treat American blacks like totally different. And I had a past because of this. And I'm not even light skinned to other people's standards. This is my pale complexion. This is my ashy color, okay? But it's such an interesting thing. And then being like, I don't know, your identity is such a hard thing to come to terms with, especially being mixed as I am. I identify as black, but if you go through heritage-wise, I'm considered mixed. It's interesting to see how the one-drop rule affects us, and that was a system created by eugenics to be able to separate people even more. So I would encourage everybody to look into the whole process of institutionalizing this mentality within people worldwide. It's not just us problem. I don't know how this conversation swayed this way. We're supposed to be talking about Kodee. Let me see what you guys are saying. You're the perfect person to do a video on this, how articulate and open-minded as well. A lot of knowledge from a strong education, life experience shared as well. Love this. Thank you, V. Thank you. I was reading some of this when I had a chance. How did Saya end up putting Nikki in all of this? Oh, Quimby, if you want to talk about that, we can have a conversation about that. Miracle is here to make it clear that God, I can't read. Fringy says, Miracle is here to make it clear that we can have those proper conversations in a calm and collected fashion. Thank you, Fringy. And thank you, me, for being able to read. Girl, yes, my grandmother did the same thing when we first went to BA, to be put in a non-segregated school. Yes. My sister used to call me an Oreo because I don't like rap music and I listen to rock and K-pop. Fam, if that isn't the truth, an Oreo. And then with my friends, they would be called Twinkies because they were yellow and then they like were into white culture, so to speak. So like oftentimes my Asian friends would be like, yo, you're more Asian than I am, because I knew like more cultural stuff, and they were like, yo, just Linkin Park. And I'm like, I like Linkin Park too, okay? And I also like Tupac Shakur, okay? Natives have this problem too. A lot of our older folks are traumatized and don't like when young people speak our language and practice spirituality. I can definitely understand that. Same, I hated being black as a child because it seemed like a bad label, and it was like the worst label to me as a kid with no mixed options child. Yes. And you don't understand how damning that is when you are from a child, you are ashamed of who you are. Like, why are children ashamed of who they are? They shouldn't even know, but like, and nobody really knows when it starts. And I don't know. Just don't get me started on that. Teresa's Filipino. Yes. Yes. What do I know how to say? Mahal kita. Well, that's if you speak Tagalog. But yeah, mahal kita. And I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Personally, I hate the term that you're not black enough. Growing up, I was discriminated against by other black kids because I spoke properly and was into different things. Yes, Dre, that's the story of my life. My boyfriend, like my cousins will sometimes be like, oh, she's so cute, sound like a little white girl because they're from the country. But I'm like, why I can't just sound like a city girl? Why I gotta sound like a white girl? My boyfriend was raised in Mexico, and people here in the U.S. are so confused by him and his race. He gets treated so weird over here. He identifies as mestizo race, which most U.S. don't understand. That's intense. Oh my God, it skipped again. My godparents are Mexican, and then one of my childhood best friends is Dominican. So like, that's why I think I got so offended when it came to Champagne telling me that I don't know Latina culture. And I was just like, homie, you don't know me, okay? You don't know me. The Latina is in me, even though it's not like in me, you know? But it's in me. It's just not in me. And then, like, also because the Portuguese in me. If you guys, well, I told you guys my last name before, but then I realized that was probably not a good idea because somebody's going to come and dox me. And then I have to worry about my family, not really for me, because I'm a G, okay? I know how to call a lawyer, okay? I live in a majority white area, so I just thought I was going to be subjected to racism because of the black label. Also, due to what I was told about slavery and segregation as a child. Cameron, you were like staying my story. I feel bad for being white because I feel like I personally ruined Natives and African Canadians' lives because of what the government had done to them. Courtney, it's not your fault though. I don't want you to internalize that. But if you want to, you are in a position to where you can also help spread the voices of those who don't have a voice, so to speak. So I don't want anybody to feel bad about who they are or where they came from. But if you do acknowledge that you have a privilege, so to speak, then go ahead and extend that privilege onto others, because the power of your voice is going to be a lot stronger than people who don't have that same position. I tell people all the time, it's February, I'm about to get real dark come June. Okay, so let me tell you about this my offense with this complexion that I have, okay? How am I black and I still get sunburn? I get the worst sunburn. And you know, they say if you have like sunburn like 5 times before you're 25, you are like 10 times, some crazy number more likely to get melanoma. And listen, your girl had sunburn 4 times. 4, and I just turned 25. So I don't go outside. I don't go outside. That's why my acne scarring is probably the complexion that I get when in the summertime. This conversation swayed this way because these topics are the implication of her actions. Yes, Chelsey. Thank you for giving me context. Hi, Kelly. I just wanted to say, everyone, oh my God, it skipped again. That's because I read too slow and I talk too much. Would you like some Israeli in you? Oh, that's a conversation for another time. I'm crying. My mom is a writer. I was called an Oreo a lot because kids said I talk like a white girl. My mom just refused to let me pick up a tons of slang. And I don't understand why it's not proper because you decide to use a certain vernacular. I don't understand how that has anything to do with, you know, your race or your heritage or your ethnicity. It doesn't make any sense. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, And a lot of my besties are Native American, Filipino, white. All, but we loved Dre, Snoop, and everything was referred to Yos, not in a derogatory way. And Kelly, that's perfectly fine, because that is like, I want you to own your truth. And I think a lot of social media is a beautiful and a terrible thing, because all of a sudden everybody is expected to have had the same experience, and then you end up negating what other people are actually going through. And it's just this long and arduous process to be able to correct people in their mentality, because just because you as a person have gone through something doesn't mean that others have had that experience, nor does it mean that just because you have not gone through something doesn't mean that you can't speak on something. I think the whole thing is just being respectful when you are hearing a differing opinion. It's okay. Love you for who. Thank you, Nikki. I love you too. I skipped again. All right. I'm sorry. Don't think I was ignoring you. Fringy, I didn't get to see your comment because the stupid thing just keeps like skipping. Oh, okay. I see it. Use your agency to help others. I can understand that. My mom was a very educated woman and she didn't let me speak slang as well. No one is guilty of the crimes of their ancestors. Original sin is for Catholics. Charlie, you about to get me in trouble. Courtney, thanks, Mind of a Miracle. I'm doing what I can. And you gave me some really good ideas for my channel. I'm glad. I'm glad that, oh, let me know when you start. Let me know. Let me know when you upload. Let me know. I'm going to share it on the Twitter. I'm Black. When I was in high school, I dated a white boy. His parents didn't like me because they thought I would get pregnant and trap him. I'm 37 now. I don't have kids and I travel the world. Yes, Pandora. Let's come up for your come up story, because we love somebody who travels, okay? And then on top of that, I don't like that people make assumption like, why you gotta trap somebody? What if he was trying to trap you? People don't understand that Afro-Latinos and Latinos with African ancestry, they define someone's race based off of skin color, ethnicity, and nationality. Exactly. And I see that that's a big conversation within the Latin American community and within the Hispanic community in of itself, where the pigmentation of your skin will determine whether or not that you are considered Latin American and or Hispanic. I think that's a whole other conversation. If you want me to get into that one day, you let me know. And thank you guys so far for supporting this live. I know that it kind of got off topic and waywards a couple times, but thank you guys for being here and having an open conversation with me. Thank you for liking the live, so that when the trolls come later on, they won't hate me too much, or YouTube won't mess up my algorithm like they did the last time. But I'm really thankful that you guys are open to having this discussion with me, and have allowed me to have this dialogue with you. You guys are like really mature, and I've really been blessed with a lot of you guys as my subscribers, as my friends, for trusting me with this conversation and dialogue, and also trusting yourself to be able to share this opinion, because a lot of people don't feel like they have a voice, and I'm just thankful that you guys feel comfortable enough with me to share your voice. So Lord, y'all got me tearing up hearing y'all's stories. It's crazy to think that many people went through the same thing I went through, and glad to know I wasn't alone. No, Jay, you were never alone. And I think that's the beautiful thing about social media, is so that people know that they are not the only ones who've been going through it. Oh, I got chills. Fam, I got chills. Y'all, I said I wasn't going to be crying, but you know what? This ain't edited, so if I end up crying, it's going to be all right. This live needed this conversation. Yes. I married my white boy. Everyone thought I was trying to trap him. It took us 10 years to have our first baby. See? And it's such a beautiful thing. And then it's such a beautiful thing that you were able to have your family and be happy, and he was able to be happy, and you didn't let the comments of people get in between you, because that's another conversation about how if you end up marrying somebody of another race, if a black marries a white, then it's like, oh, that's the slave mentality, or that's slave master mentality. And I'm like, this is stupid. It's stupid. And you know what? That's some people's experience, though. Some people do that, but I just, it's not everybody, and that's the whole point. Thank you, Quinby. Honestly, this has been helpful and informative. Yes, I'm so glad. Yay, Xylee. Xylee, I'm fighting with you still. Here to bring banter and sometimes okay points. Charlie, I love you for how you are. Oh, Quimby, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. So much love to you too. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm white and British, so should I start apologizing now? No, you don't need to apologize for nothing. It's wonderful having this discussion without having to be afraid or intimidated by it. And that's the whole thing that I wanted for my platform, is to be able to have open discussions. Yes, sometimes people are going to say something offensive. Xylee, I saw your comment, maybe laugh. But I feel like it's understanding that sometimes the hard exterior that people present on social media might not be the real feelings that they are actually conveying in private, because maybe all they knew was to be aggressive or mean or show a lot of animosity in order to be able to show their viewpoints. And then when you just break down and you slow down the conversation, it's like, yo fam, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. You don't need to be up here. We need to just down here. Let's have a conversation. And we don't have to, and that's the thing, you don't have to agree by the end of the dialogue. We don't have to agree with each other. It's just having a healthy respect, and you can acknowledge, like, okay, you feel this way, I feel this way, and we're cool. We're cool out here in these streets. There are Afro-Latinos in Mexico. Yanga, I hope I'm saying that right. Minimal sophisticated, can you let me know if I say that right, is the first slave, and the first president of Mexico was black. The slave ports are here in Veracruz. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Look at that history. Kelly says, I'm so happy to discover you. Love me some Fringy, Mocha, and Nikki. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club. Thank you, Kelly. I'm happy to be here. I think I'm the nerdy weird one. Demons says no one cares. All right. I respect that. That's your feelings. Anyway, moving on. Cameron says, Lord, I wish all of mine was some heels and all. I ran into his father a few years ago. He's shocked and impressed when I told him all the awesome things. I almost said awful. Awesome things I've done with my life. He really thought low of me, and that hurt me a lot. I've been there before, where people have made assumptions about who I was and what I'm supposed to be based off of what they physically saw. People will think I'm going to be a hot blazing mess all the time because I'm a black woman. And you know what? It's true. I am a hot blazing mess, but it's not because I'm a black woman. It's just because I'm a hot blazing mess. Anyway, this is a really good conversation. I love how open and polite everyone is being. I always feel afraid to have these types of conversations because I don't want to unintentionally offend somebody. And I think, thank you, Pika P, for that name is so cute. But I have to agree that some people, I think, but you know what? I don't think that there's anything wrong necessarily with saying your opinions and then it potentially offending somebody, because when you offend, you don't know how to correct. But if you're never given the room to be able to say something, to understand that your possible thinking is possibly incorrect, because what you're feeling is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just good to have these conversations. This is the long end of the short thing I should have just said. We all have nerdy weird ones, and I am proudly the nerdy weird one. The minimalist, I can't read today. Or nationality. People need to stop assuming and speaking on one race or directing their emotions as others based on skin color or alleged race such as Latinos. Yes. I just shared your live onto my Twitter. Oh, thank you, Courtney. And thank you. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. But guys, I don't want to keep you here forever. So just drop any last minute things that you wanted me to comment on. But otherwise, I'm going to give you guys like a couple minutes to let me know what else you wanted to discuss. Because I don't want to rush you off here, but I also don't want to like drag this out, because I feel like all the main Tanya's here. I love you. I don't want to make this seem like I'm just trying to drag this out forever. So let me know if you have any more things you wanted to share or you wanted me to discuss on here openly with you guys. But if not, then I'm going to wrap it up. Apparently, Kodee has responded to me publicly again. What does she say? You look absolutely stunning in that black and white outfit. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I thought I was on my Beetlejuice vibes. I got this from, what is it called? Boohoo. And they had a whole set. So there's pants, but I'm wearing red pants with this today. I love you too, Cameron. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me prattle. And thank you, Courtney. I'm grateful. Tanya was here. I was here all the time. I didn't even see you, Tanya. I'm so sorry. You're amazing, and I hope you can do a collab if other creators return. I think that'll be a good conversation. I'm supposed to be doing a collab with Charlie where we're going to be talking about, I don't know if you guys seen that video where the young lady was in the people of color college rooms dorm setting where she's made that comment like if you are not black or something like that, you guys need to leave because we don't have any spaces here. We're gonna probably talk about that. I think we're gonna do that on Sunday. But yeah, if anybody else is here and they want to have a conversation with me, feel free to. Okay, because I love to talk, as you can see. You're a wonderful miracle. Oh, thank you, my fellow Scorpio. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Technicolor Stardust. We love Beetlejuice out here. That's my childhood. Thank you. Oh my God, it skipped again. Don't think I'm ignoring you if it skips. I'm so sorry. I've been in this live, so I haven't read it thoroughly yet, but I did see that she thinks I'm refusing to listen to her. If somebody can go ahead and write down the gist of what she said so that we can address it here, because unless Chelsey, well, actually, let me ask Chelsey, do you want me to address this here? Courtney says, I love this video interview you did with Flow with Coco. Thank you, Courtney. Coco, when I tell you Corey is so articulate and so nice, he's like very warm. And he was like, the fact that he still did the interview with me, even though he was tired, because he like had a long weekend, he was like resting and stuff like that. He was still so warm even in his fatigue. So like I really appreciate like him. So if you guys don't already support Flow with Coco or Corey, go ahead and please check out his channel because he's just a ball of light. Like he's just so nice and caring, and you can see like YouTube is something that he's passionate about. He's all about helping people. He's all about getting to know people, and then in the process he's also trying to get his bag. Like he's not out here playing. He's not out here to be all like I'm gonna start some trouble. No, Corey's intention is like I'm going to make this my living because I care about what I'm doing and I care about what I'm talking about, and I want to make sure that I provide great content for everybody. So I really appreciate that about him. Estella is returning, hopefully. Yes, I hope Estella returns soon. I miss her. Hey, peeps. Can anyone... Oh, God. It skipped again. Boohoo, shout out. Boohoo need to pay me. How much clothes I have for Boohoo. Firework art. Oh, God. I would go over it again. If anybody could give fireworks art a brief synopsis about what happens. Girl, I can't be here if we're talking about Beetlejuice because I'll start and I don't want to stop the musical slaps. Yes, we are Team Scorpio. Some people say I don't come across as a Scorpio, but apparently according to that, I don't believe in horoscopes and stuff. But I think it's a funny conversation. But in any case, yeah, I'm a true Scorpio. Like my rising, my falling, my everything, my Pluto, everything is Scorpio. Like everything. Scorpio, but see, all the Scorpios are connecting. Like that's why I liked you. It's like I knew I liked you for a reason because we have the same clan, fam. It's been going on since Jay. Like how demoralizing. I love Nikki. What alien girl would you be, Ripley or Vasquez? Oh, I don't know. I don't know whose conversation that is. Miracle is ignoring us, y'all. Xylee, why are you coming for me in my life? Listen, I said yesterday you had some nice edges, but today I might take it back. I think it's too hard to show what she said because she questioned things I said. Oh, okay. Because she questioned things I said. We can move on. She ain't gonna listen. Secure the bags, my motto. Yes. Who is all a Scorpio here? I'm glad I'm not just the only one. Yes. Represent for our Scorpios, fam. Look at Custard's out here for the Scorpios, fam. I'm not going to engage with someone who treats me like this when I've done everything I could do, right? You're doing everything you can to twist things. Oh, I think this is the tweet. Oh, I didn't read that properly. I was like, what happened, Melanie? What happened? And then I just read it properly. I'm not going to engage with someone who treats me like this when I've done everything I can to make this right. You're doing everything you can twist everything to fit your narrative, and you have gaslighted me for the last time. You win. I'm out. God. I'm a God-fearing woman. So because I'm a God-fearing woman, I will properly exercise my patience. But in this case, how am I going to say this? Kodee, if for whatever reason you actually properly watch this live from start to finish and take the time to realize that nobody is coming for you or coming for your life or coming for your edges, you would realize... Just give me a second to gather my thoughts, because I'm really Dre, I'm October 27th, fam. October 20. Do you see this? Cameron 26th, 27th, me 28th, Dre? Do you see us down the line, fam? I love you guys too. Thank you. Scorp Sun, Libra Moon, Taurus Rising. I think I'm Scorp Sun, Gemini Moon, Leo Rising, and then everything else is Scorpio again. October 11th, yes. Yes, we love Mocha. Everybody know. Let everybody know that we love Mocha, okay? I'm November 8th. I was supposed to be born on the 31st. Courtney, it's okay, Team Scorpio. We embrace you. November Scorpios. Watch Amanda come for me. July 21st. Yes, we love the Cancers out here, fam. Oh, your dad is the 27th. Shout out to Pops. Oh God. Oh, I'm getting all warm in here. The heater kicked in. Now I'm sweating. Okay, I thought about what I wanted to say to the child of God, Kodee. So, Kodee, if for whatever reason you get to this segment of the video and then you realize that we have all found out about what your tweet said, I'm directly saying this to you as somebody who you don't know and who I don't really have any formal introduction with you. But from what I have seen visually, from what you have displayed and put out there on social media, for all the videos that you've created, for all of the self-assessments of your growth, I am going beyond my means by saying this to you. Whatever growth that you have acknowledged within yourself, I'm telling you first and foremost that there are a lot of people who do not see nor do they acknowledge your growth because of how you are reacting to somebody that you have personally harmed. It is not up to you to say whether or not somebody is accepting or denying your apology. And on top of that, Chelsey has adamantly said to you, you are not addressing the things that were hurtful to me as a person and to my community, and you've decided at this point that you were going to make it about you and make it about your comfort. Listen, you weren't thinking about everybody else you were harming in the process of you making these detrimental and disgusting statements. You were not thinking about anybody. You were not. And now you cannot come here and say, or come on Twitter rather, and say, oh, well, you're not listening to me and you don't want to acknowledge me. If she does not want to acknowledge you, that is her business. And on top of that, the fact that you say that you win, you don't acknowledge the fact that this was not a game to be played in the first place. This is somebody's real life. This is somebody's real emotions. And just like you are personally affected by this situation, acknowledge that she was too. So take several seats, because there was no game to be won. Nobody is trying to come up on over you. Nobody is trying to look better than you. We're just trying to collectively tell you you're being a jerk and you're not acknowledging the fact that you've harmed somebody. B, you made my day miracle for president 2020. I'd be the worst president. I'd be like, can't we all just hold hands? Shout outs to you, and then get our country into like an economic shambles. Cancer, click, rise up. The cancers are coming for me. We love our water tribe. Can I just tell you, this is completely off topic, but when I used to watch Avatar Last Airbender, I used to identify with the water tribe, and then, you know what? Shout outs to Katara. Our first wedding anniversary is this Halloween. We'll try to do something spooky. Oh, we love a spooky queen. Nikki and Mocha are our favorite stepmother and stepson duo. You know, her actions don't show that she's changed. I don't see any accountability. I'm gonna need to record this and just share it with her. Thank you. Thank you, Chelsey. There's a Scorpio read. Yes. Dang, take my wig off. Let me take mine off. Let me take my wig off. I should have took my wig off for that whole dissertation. Listen, my bald-headed self needed to come forth to you and tell you about yourself. This is not a game of how many lives have been affected over Twitter, BS, or you can discuss race or go personally attack somebody. Exactly. Water tribe goodies where? Kodee, honey, you said, why would you want Rihanna big lips like Chris Brown had smacked her and then try to cover it by saying you're a little Indian girl? Exactly. And you made an insensitive statement, and because Chelsey's actively telling you like, yo, you need to come up and say something, like you need to acknowledge the fact that you screwed up, you're acting like a child and throwing a tantrum. If somebody wants to block you or protect their peace, that's their choice. And you know what? I'm going to say that. That's true. That is true. If they want to block somebody to protect their peace, that's true. And then I want to specifically address that too, because I'm going to connect that to my statement related to Kodee directly. Previously, people thought that the whole reason why I was calling out Kodee for her blocking people was because I think that that I was saying that she couldn't block people. And that wasn't it. The whole thing is she blocked people that she was apologizing for. Everybody's within their rights to be able to block somebody that they feel is personally attacking them. Yeah, so I don't know if that statement was directed at me, but I just wanted to clarify that. And that was just in people in general, to have this conversation with everybody, because nobody should feel like they're being attacked because they decided to block somebody, right? It's harassment and victimization. Take a seat and listen to what people are telling you. In the words of the awful Peter Mon, use the teachable moments. I didn't call Peter Mon awful. I'm just reading the comment, okay? Oh, I want to cough, but I want to cough in your ear. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, Jen. Yes, guys, if you're riding with me through this live, please give us a thumbs up. Estella did it. Oh, okay. Yeah, we love Estella out here, but Estella still had her moments. Dre's, education is so important in issues with race. Smash the MF and like button. Yes, Technicolor started. We want that energy. If you guys are watching, if you're riding with me, if you don't have a YouTube account, take the time to create one and like this video, because we know the hate is coming. I feel it in my guts, okay? I feel it. It's coming, and I'm going to get dragged because somebody's going to misconstrue my words, and I think I'm being very articulate, but you know what? Sometimes when people are in an emotional space, they're not able to understand that, like, I'm not trying to attack them. And I have a feeling somebody's going to tell me I have a double standard. I feel it coming, but it's okay. You should have an opinion. I'm cool with Peter. I think people should give him a chance now. From all the previous happened, people can change. I don't think I read that out loud properly. I'm cool with Peter. I think people should give him a chance now from what previously happened. People can change. Yes, I agree, Cameron. You never said it wasn't okay to block. Well, thank you for clarifying, Nikki, for acknowledging that. But somebody's gonna say somewhere I did, so I'm just putting that out there. This is how I feel. She's not a big deal. It won't be much hate, just saying. Xylee. Why black men say black women don't take baths? Why? I don't know, Nadia, but they need to fix that if they are saying that. You said you can't apologize to people you haven't blocked. Big difference. Exactly. Thank you for clarifying my words. And on top of that, I'm part of team We Don't Give Apologies for Things That We Don't Feel Sorry For. So shout out to Nikki for coining that 2020 energy. If I'm not sorry, I'm not going to apologize for it. However, I'm the type of person, if you want me to apologize for something, you have to explain to me what I've done wrong. Because I'm not just going to issue an open-ended apology and not mean it, because like that takes away the full breadth of what an apology is. Okay. I say it when I mean it. Oh, I skipped. What happened? What happened? Why black females can't grow real nice beautiful hair like white and Spanish women? Why? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I don't know what to tell you, Nadia. You in a mood. But we're going to leave you in your mood because you're entitled to your opinions. I don't ride with you. Also, she got 7K subs and you only got 2K. So, oof. I don't know what's happening. Why are we measuring somebody's statements by how many followers they have? That doesn't even make any sense. So when that starts allowing for a credible conversation for us to actually be able to help a situation, then I would hope that Kodee is able to use her much bigger platform to be able to spread positivity instead of spreading harassment and hatred. And the fact that she has these individuals who support her, who are speaking up for her, I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate you saying these sort of things, because I'm trying to help better Kodee and help her to be proud of who she is. But that's just me. So guys, I'm probably going to close out this live now because Nikki and Mocha just uploaded their video and I don't want to take away from their first thing. So I love you guys. And want you guys to be able to have good conversations. If you want to continue this conversation outside of this, if you guys don't know, my Twitter handle is mindofamiracle1. So you can reach out to me there. Or you can drop any of your comments or concerns down in the comment section down below. But I'm going to close out this live because, again, Nikki and Mocha have uploaded their video, and I want to make sure that everybody takes the time to support them. So I love you guys. Thank you, Xylee. Yes, guys, if you guys enjoyed this live, please like it, give it a thumbs up. And it's definitely not about numbers, Kate. And Nadia's just in a mood. But we'll leave her to herself. But yeah, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you. And I will see you next time. I love you. Okay, bye! Oh, there's another button. Oh my God. It's so awkward. Okay, I'm really leaving now. Okay, bye.